Alright, Geordie Prepper here. Welcome to another Prepper News Network video. Looks like UK is getting some snowy weather, some wintry conditions, and after some relative warm weather, which was brought about by the recent storms that we had, looks like we're going to get some wintry weather, and they're actually calling it the new beast from the east. And the term beast from the east came from a very wild wintry weather phenomenon which came across from Russia. And it hit the northeast of England predominantly, but it also hit along like the east coast of Britain. And I was actually out in it when it came here, and it was as close to being in like the North Pole, you know, when you see these films and there's all these wintry conditions in like Canada or Alaska or North Pole or just anywhere that has like a lot of snow and a lot of snowstorms. It was as close to that as I've ever been in, and it was literally like you couldn't see 12 foot in front of your face at one point. And it looks like we're going to be getting a similar conditions. And actually, before recording this video, the weather and the wind was really quite serious. It seems to have calmed down on a bit though, but it seems like moving into February, there's a good chance we're going to get colder conditions. Looks like snow could return. We did get a quite warm spell because of the recent storms that came. The storms actually brought some really warm conditions, but it looks like we could be plummeting back into very low or negative figures again. And just sticking with weather, but this time going to Norway, it looks like Norway is going to be getting its biggest storm for 30 years, potentially. Battening down the hatches, and they could be getting some really severe weather given the red hazard warning, and it's very rare that they actually go to that level. But they're saying that by midday Wednesday there's ferry lines linking Norwegian islands suspending their services, closing of schools, there's roads closed, tunnels and bridges are being closed. And Norway's quite mountainous, so obviously that includes like probably they've got like a lot of tunnels and things going through roadways, so they might be expecting some rockfall or other phenomena to happen. They're saying that the gusts could be up to 112 miles per hour, so pretty severe like weather at the minute across Europe and Britain. Alright, so going to Gaza now, and we had the International Court of Justice warning Israel to look out for like genocide. And it seems from this article, there's been some bodies, Palestinians have been found in a school. And, you know, it looks to be like the thing that they were saying and warning them to not happen and make sure it doesn't happen at all costs. The bodies were discovered in the Khalifa bin Zayed school in Beit Lahia in North Gaza. And, you know, that area's been besieged for weeks, and there's probably very little outside eyes that have been on the ground there. So it looks like these bodies that have been found in the school have been laying there for some time. Quite horrific what's happening in there at the minute. So staying in the Middle East but going to Iran, they've been blamed for the attack on that military base, and obviously they're under the threat of a retaliation strike from the United States and potentially other allies. They're saying that they'll respond decisively to any US strikes. Now, if they're saying decisively, that obviously conjures up weapons of mass destruction talk. The Islamic Republic would decisively respond to any attack on its country. They spell a mistake there on the article. Its interests are nationals under any pretexts, but they're obviously not elaborating on the details of what their response would be. And they're saying that we're not after war, but we have no fear of war. This talk from Iran is, again, concerning from both sides, what they're saying to each other. And obviously we've got this article saying that Biden's determined to retaliate. The Islamic resistance in Iraq has basically kind of waved a flag, white flag, trying to distance himself, it seems. But, you know, again, unfortunately, US personnel and military have lost some lives in that attack, and as I've said in the previous video, that the United States almost has their hands tied behind their back, simply have to retaliate in some sort of way. Now, whether they choose the overt option or the covert, I mean, we'll just basically have to see. It looks to me like there's actually a bit of a pause while they're contemplating it. It seems that they're being very careful. They're obviously going to justify the response. And it seems from this article anyways that they're going to find a direct link with Iran. All of this statements about the Iranian-backed militias, it's just conjecture, it's just hearsay and allegations. I don't think anybody has probably seen any direct link, but it seems that they might be looking for a direct link, and they may find it. If they do find it, then they've got all the justification that they need. And along with the United States, we've got the EU, which aims to launch a Red Sea naval mission by mid-February. So they're obviously going to prepare some assets and put them into the Red Sea to protect ships from being attacked. A lot of commercial shipping companies have diverted vessels following the Houthi attacks. Not everybody's going to take part in this action in the Red Sea, but the US and other countries have already launched a mission in December. And it looks like a few other EU countries and partners are basically going to bolster what's already happening in the Red Sea, possibly by mid-February. So we've already reported that Ukraine is essentially running low on ammunition, and it looks like they're going to get this 100-mile HIMARS round. It's called GLSDB. It's a long-range precision bomb, and it's an acronym for ground-launched small diameter bombs. Range of between 90 and 100 miles, and the United States is considering sending them. Ammunition's made by Boeing, and it's in conjunction with a Swedish manufacturer, Saab. It's going to supplement the arsenal that the Ukrainians are already using. They have a range of about 90 miles, so it does have a shorter range. It seems that these will be more precise rounds that they fire. It'll be seen as an escalation by Russia. They're not hiding it anymore that they're supporting the Ukraine. The Ukraine's getting more support than any other NATO country right now. It's getting more financial support than any other EU country. And it's getting more military support. Moving on to Yemen now. The spokesman of the armed forces is going to do an announcement. There's nothing much more information that he gives on it. But I'm assuming that it's going to be basically saying to the United States, look, we're not going to back down. We have our conditions that we need met to stop our action. Yeah, these conditions are either going to be met or we're just going to continue with the attacks. I really don't think they're going to back down. You know, they appear to be getting backed by at least one or two big players. And in fact, today, they've launched missiles at the USS Greeley destroyer in the Red Sea. Yemeni armed forces confirmed that all American and British warships in the Red Sea and Arab seas participating in the aggression against our country are within the target bank of their forces. United States and British and any other ship that's helping Israel is basically within the weapons range of the systems that the Houthis have. And, you know, they've already shown that they can launch attacks against these ships. They haven't always been successful, of course. You know, the ships that are in the area are basically designed to repel attacks that they can conduct against them. So it's not surprising that they haven't been 100% successful. But, you know, recently, you know, ships have been hit. And of course, there's going to be a fog of war. Because, so, you know, the attacks might have been more successful than we're actually being told. Because then they're just going to launch more missiles and more attacks. That's the end of today's Prepper News. Thanks very much for watching. Be safe, be prepared, and I'll see you in the next broadcast. This has been Geordie Prepper, signing out.